Hi, welcome to the Drop Bag Podcast. This is Kelly. We're missing Megan this week because she is a busy girl. But I am here with Sierra Degroff. I'm really excited to talk with her and get a little race recap information and also just get to know her better. But just before I get started on all of that, I was just listening to your interview on the Wonder Women's Collective podcast. Am I saying that correct?
That was the Wonder Woman's Collective with Gracie, I believe. That was the one that I think it just dropped like last week or something.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and on that one, you kind of recapped Western a bit. You were right in between the two races.
Mm-hmm.
Because, by the way, everyone, Sierra just did Western States and a week later, Badwater. So, we'll talk a little bit about that. But if you want kind of more details on like how everything went at Western, I would check that podcast out because we'll kind of do the other side of it since you're on the other side of it. But we're gonna go ahead and start off our episode as usual with a drop bag item. And I'm gonna go first to give Sierra a minute to like collect her thoughts. But my drop bag item is not really anything that you would put in a drop bag, but it will help you with the things that you put in your drop bag. Because I don't know if you've ever had this happen to you, Sierra, but I ran the Zion 100 one year, and I finished the race, and I had at one of the stations, like, taken off all my clothes and put them in a drop bag and changed, and so, like, I put a bunch of sweaty clothes in a waterproof bag, and then I wound up having to fly home before they had brought all the drop bags in, and for, like, 15 bucks, they'd mail your stuff back to you, and so I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Oh, that's great." I would like my stuff back, but I was imagining getting my stuff back, like, covered in mold. Have you ever had to do that, like, leave your drop bags and
I don't think that I ever retrieved any that either got lost or left. Luckily, if it was left, it was just nutrition or lost. I don't even remember. So I've never had to deal with that. Luckily, fingers crossed, but
Yeah.
um, yeah.
Well, for those who have, I have a solution. And this is for, like, runners in general maybe because I, got my running clothes and all of that, and I don't know if I'm down in Houston, I don't know if it's the humidity or just me, but my clothes get really smelly, like and you can wash them, but they still just have kind of a musty smell that I wind up getting rid of clothes before anything is bad with them because they just smell weird, and, that's frustrating to me. I actually bought, it was a Brooks sports bra with, like, the phone pocket in the back, and I loved it, and I wore it one time, and after that, I was like, it smells weird," and it's fine until you start running it again, and it, like, heats up, and you're so, here's my solution, and I've been testing things out for a while, and I think this is a good one. So, I put all my suspicious running clothes in the bathtub, filled it up with hot water, and then I added this. It is Arm& Hammer Laundry Booster Super Washing Soda, okay? And then I put a whole bunch of this in, which is Lysol Laundry Sanitizer, and it says Tough Odor Eliminator. So I think that's the important part. And I just put it all in there. I let it soak in the hot water. These were clean clothes, and the water got pretty dirty. I was like, "Those were clean, and that water is not." So I let them soak in there, then I put them through a regular wash, and I've worn a few of the items since then, and no smell. So, I'm pretty excited about my little find here. But okay, Sierra, I've given you lots of time to think about something that you keep in your drop bag, maybe a product that you really like, or, maybe something you even use on a regular run. So you decide, but go ahead. You can share your drop bag item.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I would say most recently, the two most important ones that come to mind, I guess I tried to decide while you were talking, but two of them were pretty significant. that I've not had in certain situations and needed, but probably a waist light and butt wipes. Those are two really crucial items, I think, that I would want to have either on me or in my drop bag uh, at certain instances in a race. Probably the butt wipes at all times, and then more in drop bags. And then the waist light, you would definitely want to have it at the drop bag that's going to be before nighttime because at Western State we had a little incident where I left Forest Hill without my waist lamp, which was kind of a huge issue at the time. So yeah, those are my 2 items.
I like that. Okay, so what waist light do you use? Because I know lots of people use I think it's Inspire,
Ultra
like, waist
Yeah,
belt?
I have the Ultra Spire.
Ultra Spire.
I might have it sitting right here. Hold on. I'm, like, in my office that has all my crap, so I think it's, like,
Yeah, and I told you to bring show and tell, so here we are.
the 850 Duo Lumen. I don't know. It's just I don't like headlamps because they kinda make me sick to my stomach. Something about the light coming from my head, it's just not a good deal for me. So I've found great success with these, so
Yes, I'm on board. I have, and I've shared on here a few different waist options,
Mhm.
but not well, waist light options, because
Sure.
I'm the same way. I love having the light down lower, and you said in your other interview as well that, yeah, like having the headlamp kind of it really does, and it makes the angle of the light play really weird on the trail, and so having
Mhm.
a light down lower is a good idea. And I also like the idea of having the butt wipes in I mean, why not all of your drop bags? Because you never know. You
And it
never
could
know when
just
that's
be
gonna hit.
wipes, like, it doesn't necessarily need to be butt wipes exclusively. Something you could use to wipe your face, wipe your butt, like, whatever, so, yeah.
Yeah. Wipe off is the keyword, and because, I mean, those it gets chafy if you don't. You don't need that kinda chafing. I
Yeah.
can't remember. I wanna say it was well, I won't name names because I don't wanna get it wrong, but it was in another interview, and they had some chafing that they shared that a butt wipe would have really helped, so,
I don't so much get the
okay, let's
chafing,
jump
it's more like emergency situations, like if you don't have a toilet.
yeah, yes, which happens.
Mhm,
Um, okay, let's jump, into this week while running, which most of the time has nothing to do with the this week while running because, well, for me right now, I'm injured, and so I have been swimming. Most of my this week while runnings have been this week while swimming. And I was back in the pool today. I'm like, I have permanent goggle marks on my face, which I'm not enjoying. I'm suffering through. But
oh,
I did get to go um on a really big hike this week, which was a treat because I haven't even like gone walking. I have a pelvic fracture, so I've been having
oh,
to be really careful as far as getting around.
yeah.
But I did get to go on a hike, and it actually has a lot to do with you because I got to hike Mount Whitney,
Oh,
where you
cool.
just finished Badwater.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, so my this week while running was hiking Mount Whitney, and have you ever got to hike it, like, up to the top?
Yeah, not right after Badwater, but I've done it, I think, like, 3 times now.
Okay, you tell me how it would okay, did you hike it or run it or, like, what was the circumstance?
Yeah, like, I've hiked it in one day. I've hiked it and camped at the lake and then hiked up from the lake, like, backpacked basically, and then back down with a big pack, and then I've also, like, ran/hiked. I mean, you're hiking when you get higher up, but I've done, like, all the options.
Okay, I like that. Um, I did not really gather information on the hike so much, and I was going with, my husband and some friends, so it was not and I have a pelvic fracture, so there was gonna be no running. But it was hard. I was like, "This was not a joke."
Yeah, it's
So,
high. It's
I
the highest point in the lower
yeah.
48.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked, and I think some of it was because when you can, like, run, even if some of it's, like, hiking or fast hiking, when you're moving quick,
Mhm.
I mean, it goes by faster, and when you're just
Sure.
only hiking or maybe backpacking, you probably found, it took a really long time.
Yeah, it can be a big
So,
day.
yeah, it was a big day for all of us, and, I mean, a lot of it is just hiking on that granite, and it is hard, and it's hard
Mhm.
on your legs, but it was pretty incredible, and I was really happy to get to do it, so, I'm glad that you've got to go up to the top, especially since you have been there several times, finishing at the portal, and so it's cool that you got to do it all.
Yeah, it's a good hike. Definitely think everybody should get to do it at some point.
Yeah, everybody should be up as high as possible at some point.
I mean, yeah,
Probably.
granted that you train for it. I don't wanna just tell everybody to go hike up Whitney, but if you're if you're ready to go, I mean, 'cause that one kid, I feel like didn't somebody just, like, walk off and, like, they had, like, what is it, hypoxia or whatever, and the kid's
Yeah,
like, yeah, that's crazy. So definitely train for it if you're gonna do it and then do it safely, but I definitely think it's like, for the higher peaks too, it's a walk-up peak, like, it is difficult because of the length and the elevation and everything, but, you're not doing any, like, class 2, class 3 scrambling or mountaineering or anything like that, so it's safer than, what y some of the other ones you could do.
true. True, yeah, there has been some accidents this year up on the mountain, so that is really unfortunate.
Mhm,
We were so this prompted our little group to look for, like, the hardest because I've done, like, rim to rim to rim Grand Canyon several times, and
mhm.
I was like, "This was harder," and again, I it might be just because, like, of the pace and things like that and just how I'm feeling right now, but it prompted us to look for, like, the hardest hikes in America, and one of them, I'm wondering if you've heard, it's called Cactus to Clouds.
I've
Have
done
you heard
that.
of this one?
Mhm.
You've done it? Okay, tell me about it.
Yeah, we did that in, I believe, April. I was off work for a couple of months, and we actually were out at the Arizona Monster crewing and pacing Peter Mortimer, who won it this year. And after doing that, I said to my boyfriend, I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not working and you work remote, so why don't we do like a little road trip and extend our stay? So we went from Tucson straight to 29 Palms and then over to Idlewild because it was actually the same weekend as Coachella, which that's kind of poor planning on my part, but like couldn't really stay anywhere in Palm Springs for under $900. So we camped in Idlewild and then drove to the art museum to start the hike. Uh, I call it a hike because you're climbing like over 10,000 feet, I think, in like less than 20 miles, you know. So yeah, it was pretty much a hike. And it's funny, we saw Ricky Gates that day too, like right at the start when we were starting. And um I don't know. Everybody was like warning us how hot it was going to be and everything. And coming from Vegas, I'm like, we'll see. And I didn't think it was too bad in April. Like it was pretty tolerable. And like we had plenty of water to get up to the ranger station. But it is a lot of climbing. I mean, in the top, right by the gondola and everything in the ranger station, that part does get really a little steep and sketchy in some areas. So I don't know. Anybody who doesn't like that stuff probably wouldn't like the very tip top, which sucks because it's like you have to go up there to take the gondola down. And then we continued up to the Mount San Jacinto, I think is how you say it.
Uh-huh.
So we went up to that and then came back down and took the gondola down. Um, and it was cool. It was definitely, I think it should be a bucket list item for people because it was a lot of fun and a lot of good views. You definitely get the cactus to clouds sort of perspective of starting where it's 100 degrees and there's cactus everywhere to like, that snow from the ranger station to the peak and just different. vegetation and everything, so
Alright. Well, yeah, we were like one of the descriptions said, like, you can train your butt off and do everything you can, you still will suck," you know? I'm like, "Okay, we'll have to be really ready then."
yeah. Sorry, my cat is like,
Hi, kitty.
"I'm gonna be on the podcast too."
I love it. Cute. Oh, you were also talking about in the other podcast on Wonder Woman's that you were talking with an author about, like, a book she's writing about the desert? Am
Oh,
I getting this
yeah.
right?
I met with, she writes for a book company. She's a journalist, and, Random House, I think, was the company, and I met with her before Badwater just to kind of talk about the race and, like, extreme desert climates, and she was at the race. Like, I did see her at Panamint, so she's super cool. Her name's Megan, but I don't know much more on that just yet because I think it's still in progress, but, hopefully something cool comes from that.
Yeah, you'll have to keep us updated if you find out more or, like, she gets everything put together.
Yeah,
We'll shout it because that's super interesting for me. I do environmental work, and so I'm like, "Oh, what is she writing? I wanna know."
and it's
And the
not
deserts
just
are
a
so interesting.
yeah, it's not just about running though, and it's about, like, the different, communities, like, of people who live out, like, in Death Valley and different areas too, or, like, even in the cities, so it will be definitely cool to see how it all pans out for her, but I'll definitely keep you posted.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds really cool. And you're a good one to talk to because you're a desert runner, so you know all about it. Okay, now I'm gonna let you get to have your this week while running. So
Okay.
again, it could be like anything that you did this week while running or not running.
So this week, I guess a week ago was Wednesday. Uh, Wednesday, I think last Wednesday was when I was kind of getting back to running because I took a couple days off after Badwater. Um, just because my right foot ankle situation was kind of messed up. I walked the last 50 miles to Badwater because I thought I had maybe potentially fractured something or had some kind of tendon tissue issue that was creating a whole bunch of pain and swelling. So I took a couple days off and then I started running again last Wednesday, but it was still kind of funny. Um, feeling, like it didn't feel right. So I had to go to the osteopath on Saturday, and he's the best. I always tell people like that can't figure things out because I used to go to PTs and stuff and just for months and we never knew what was going on with specific running things. And this guy, you talk to him 10 minutes and he's like, "Oh, I know what that is," and he'll like fix it. And I don't know, for anybody who doesn't know what an osteopath is, it's like they are a doctor. You can study that. I forget it's like osteopathic medicine or there's like a different option, but he'll work you from like head to toe and they'll kind of prep the area and then manipulate it after it's been prepped. And I mean, he's saved me from a lot of almost debilitating like issues I've had from just running, I think, for so long. Um, and it's awesome because I go see him and it's like I'm brand new. I got to go once a quarter, but it's worth it. So I saw him Saturday. I got back up to the mountain, our mountain here, for the first time all summer on Saturday. So that was fun. Now that I'm getting ready for Wyoming Range 100, and I climbed our peak Griffith twice, which is like 10,000 something feet, and it's like 45 minutes outside of Vegas. So
Mhm.
I'm fortunate that I can just drive over there and get some vert. I think I had 5,000 feet of climbing with 15 miles, so that was pretty decent. Um, and yeah, I have a group run on Tuesdays, and we call it I mean, it's called the well, I won't say what it's called. Just we'll see you next Tuesday. It's like a joke, but yeah, I didn't name it. I'm just the group leader, and I was able to join for 9 miles this week after my 2 big 100-mile efforts, so that was great. Last week I had to shorten it to 4, so I got to catch up with everyone, and that was good. The whole gang was there, so yeah, I don't know, just enjoying feeling good again and building some miles back up before I have to run another race, so
Well, yeah, impressive, and you even, got a few miles in between Western and Badwater, and now you're back up and running again. I remember seeing on Instagram some of your ankle, foot pictures, and it was so swollen, so
it was bad. Like, I was worried, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have a pretty high pain threshold, and, like, if they weren't making a movie, like, uh, they're making a movie on us Mount to Coast athletes from Badwater, Billy Yang's doing it, and if there wasn't, like, a whole film crew and everything, and I wasn't so determined to finish, I was like, "Man, I don't know," because I don't wanna do permanent damage, you know what I mean? Like, it's a touchy subject when you have pain like that, so I don't know. You just don't know
I
how
think
bad it really is.
a runner's dilemma in a race, when you're trying to decide to push through or not, like, I think most people are like, "I'm fine as long as this isn't permanent, like, I can deal with the pain or keep battling this hurt for a while, but if it's gonna take the rest of my year, then maybe not, you know?"
Yep,
So
us running
so
addicts, we can't stop sometimes.
but you said that, so I haven't heard about this movie so much. You said Billy Yang is putting it together. I mean, I could see film crews out there with y'all. So I was like, something's up. But do you have any more details on um like when that's gonna come out or
Um,
how it's going?
yeah, so we don't know exactly. I know they want it soon, like the sooner the better, but I don't have like specific release date or anything like that. Just basically, it's covering us Mount to Coast athletes. So myself, Megan Ecker, Victoria Brown, and they also covered Ambassador Kaylee Frederick. So they had this great group of guides, and Sally McRae was also out there chasing us around with cameras and getting all the good and the bad moments. So, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I feel like I love the running movies that have came out, like I'm a huge Unbreakable junkie for those type of movies. Like that's a classic. And then The Chase was another really good one that Jameel came out with earlier this year. So I think it's gonna hopefully, you know, just give a different take too. It's just all women that they're covering, so that's
Mhm.
cool and refreshing. And then, yeah, I mean, we're gritty. Like we need to have our stories too, right? And um, I just love Badwater too, so I'm excited to get to kind of share that experience with a greater, I guess, crowd of people. Because there's only I think it's like 1,000 something runners that have finished ever. Like he said, it's like less people than have summited Everest or something crazy. So, um, yeah,
That is super exciting. I mean, I'm just so thankful for the people kind of putting this stuff out, and it's so much work and such like a big effort to capture these huge races, and so when they drop, I'm the biggest fan, and that's super exciting to know that we have something to look forward to. And sweet about Mount to Coast because they made the Badwater shoe, like, that was so cool to have, like, a
yeah.
shoe specifically designed for the race and everything.
It's super exciting. I mean, I remember last year, I had I got everybody on my crew, R1s to wear at the race, and just because I'm like, I love these shoes, like I know you guys are gonna love these shoes, and kind of just getting it out there. And he used to have a different shoe sponsor, so to have Mount to Coast take on the head sponsorship position this year, and get the shoe out and everything. It's been super exciting to be a part of all that. And yeah, the shoe's awesome too, by the way. Like I don't just say that because I run for them, but it's a really nice shoe.
Well, I have been like, oogling and googling over them right lately, and I just watched Conversational Pace just came out with a review on them, but I follow you, obviously, and several of the runners who wear them, just like, daily runners like me, and they I'm just like, "Oh, I need to get a pair and give them a try," because they are really interesting, really kind of have some um, different offerings and materials and stuff that they use that seem really great, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get my hands on a pair. Once I start running again, I'm like I actually just bought some running clothes today. Thank you, Instagram. Um, but I'm like, I don't need shoes quite yet because 'cause I'm not running. I should be buying, like, swimming accessories because I am swimming, which is lame. But
Well,
I'm super glad that you're up and getting some running in and that you had a good week and you're getting ready for your next race already, so oh, and yes, you live in frickin' Vegas where you have I'm telling you, and we shouldn't talk about this because I don't want, Vegas to get ruined for you outdoor people, but it is the secret spot to be right now, like, you have so much access, I mean, you got Red Rock what is it, the other one called, like, Fire Valley or
Valley of Fire.
Valley of Fire, it's so cool out there, and then,
Mhm.
yeah, you've got some peaks to come, you got Zion, like, Zion's my baby, and so you got Zion right there and Grand Canyon, like, so much access, so, a little jealous.
Yeah, it's nice. I've been here about 10 years now and I moved from the Midwest, so I'm pretty happy with it out here.
Ni okay, 10 years, so you're sticking around, huh?
For now, I got a condo, so
Good, I was gonna ask you how work was today.
it's okay. I started a new job actually like probably a week before Western States. So I'm still kind of learning the ropes and everything. I'm an inside sales engineer, so I do like a lot with different like electrical testing services and yeah, I don't know, I did more like product sales before this gig. I was an account manager for like similar customer base, but now I'm selling services for products. So we're still kind of learning how all that goes and it's good so far. I mean, you know, it's it's work. So
You'd rather be out running, but okay.
I mean, I had a little break earlier this year, so that was definitely nice and refreshing.
Yeah, I had heard that you'd started this new job kind of in the middle I mean, like, it sounds like you really got to hit some good training because you did have that break, but then kind of right in the middle of everything coming together, you started this new job, and I thought, oh, that's gotta feel a little bit crazy," but
It was. It was honestly like, okay, I need this job. If it was up to me, I would have started after Badwater, but I'm like, if I need to start now and you're cool with me taking PTO, then great. Like, we can do that. So I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to do everything, you know. So
yeah. Well, so does your company know that you're a crazy runner? I
yeah,
mean, they know
like
you're doing because you have to
my boss actually that hired me, it's just kind of funny because when I was looking for jobs, I put like pro runner on my resume, which I had some people be like, yeah, I don't know if I would do that. And I'm like, but why? Like, if I'm interviewing for sales jobs, I mean, people are either gonna, give a crap or they're not, right? Like they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's cool that you're competitive and like you have hard work ethic," or they're gonna be like, "This is completely irrelevant. I don't care." But I prefer to like work with people who care and like value, you know, having your own, I guess, other interests and stuff too, or like, like I think ultra running brings a lot to the table on like other areas of who you are as a person and everything too. So he was
Mhm.
super pumped to like hear that I'm into all that and passionate, and he's a runner too. So, you know, I'm just happy to get to work with people who are like-minded. So,
Yeah, no, for sure. I have a friend who she's like this coding girl, which can get really geeky and, like, a certain type of person, but she mentioned on her application that she'd done, like, a half Ironman and got the job off that because the hiring manager or boss was like, "Okay, like, you kind of do cool things outside of just geeky computer stuff all day." And
yeah,
so I think he was excited to work with somebody like you said, like and that feels good too, just to kind of, like, be open about who you are and what you're like, and that way, you fit into the company a little bit better.
sure.
Sweet, okay. I wanna talk a little bit more about Badwater, but first, you always have, like, the most amazing race fashion. Like, your crew is always decked out and, like, everything is really personalized and fun, and so I kinda wanted you to share, how do you, like, print all that? Like, how do you make all of these clothes and, like, bring everything together for yourself and for your crew?
Um, I guess it's just a lot of planning. I don't know. Like I'm weird about that stuff. Like I've been doing it for so long, like before probably anybody even knew who I was. Like I remember back in 2020 when I was my license plate on my car says cat runner, and I was like putting cat runner on like different things I was wearing at races. And then like me and my pacer would have like matching leopard print tank tops that say cat runner and like hot pink, and then have matching tights and like neon colored hair, and just, like, I don't know. For me, it's kind of, I always liked like doing you can even ask my parents, like, I would do the sports or the activities that you could have, like, the cool outfits, like baton twirling or, dance and that kind of stuff, which I don't do any of that anymore, but since a young age, I always enjoyed dressing up and such. Um, sorry, my cat is, like, scratching the bottom of my really expensive chair, so I'm
Uh,
like, "Definitely don't do that while we're on this call."
Not allowed.
Yeah. So, oh man, she is still doing it. But yeah, I
You
like
got the
that.
pillow, you gotta smack her with the pillow.
Dude, she's terrible. I need like a squirt bottle. That's usually how I discipline in these scenarios. I have an ice max now. Um, so yeah, ever since, the beginning of time, I feel like I've always enjoyed like getting a fun outfit for like a race. And so with Western and Badwater, I saw the Hawaiian shirts. It was like an ad or something on Instagram. It was like, put your face on this shirt. And I'm like, oh my God, that's great. And they were on sale for like $15. And this was, I think, in December, like right after I heard I got into states. So my boyfriend makes fun of me, but I'm like, "I don't care. I'm buying the shirts now. Like they're on sale. Like I'm just gonna get a whole bunch and then we're gonna give them to everybody like at the race." So I did that and that was fun. Um, and then for Badwater, every year we've had like fun shirts and matching shorts. And this year we did. I really like the show Eastbound and Down. It's kind of it's it's from HBO. They don't have any new episodes anymore, but Danny McBride plays a character, Kenny Powers, and there was just a funny shirt that had like his face on it. And I bought everybody some of those from Temu because I found them on Temu and they were only like $7. And it was just funny because his face was like off center on some of them too, but it's like, whatever, we got a deal. And glitter.
Yeah.
We all had UV glitter for the nighttime, so that was fun, including the men. Uh, and then they had like we had the face freckle tattoos that we put on, and um,
Ooh.
yeah. So always try to make it. I feel like people have fun with that, and that's kind of like one of the benefits of being on my crew is you get to be outfitted in what I want you to wear and all that fun stuff. So I don't know. I think it makes it more fun. It's not just like, "Hey, show up and figure out what you wanna wear and whatever." So, And Mountain Coast gave a whole bunch of swag for Badwater this year too. So everybody had a bunch of new like Mountain Coast sun hoodies and shirts and singlets and shorts. So that was fun to get all my friends kitted out in that too. So
Yeah, I think that it definitely, brings a crew together when you're, to a certain extent, like the runner is the leader and kind of sets the vibe. And you obviously just like set a really fun vibe and, let everybody feel appreciated, but also like this is gonna be a good time, even if it's hurting or sucking, it's gonna be fun.
yeah. I don't know. I'm just
So
when I taper, I get bored too. So the tie dye at States, it was like, what am I gonna do with all this time? And I'm like, I'm gonna tie dye my white shirts because I want color. So, and then I tie dyed a pair of shoes. So I don't know,
I
but
saw yeah, so I do you just have like a tie-dyed kit
no,
station? You
well, I mean, like my kitchen table. No, I went to Michael's, but I definitely went down the craft rabbit hole and was buying a whole bunch of stuff and was like, oh yeah, let's do this. I mean, I had no tie dye, and I bought like neon tie dye and normal tie dye and glitter tie dye.
Yes, no, you did a great job. I was like, "This girl knows what she's doing."
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know. I like one of a kind.
True, and I like Callie Vincent, she kinda did those I think it was for John G, she kind of, personalized some of the shirts and stuff like that too, so I
Mhm.
think, yeah, like, let's, like, let that spread a little bit through the community, like, everybody needs to put their personal touch, and that's I think what I see with you as well, like, you just have this really great personal touch, and it's really meaningful. I think it's meaningful for your crew, like, makes you happy, but it would be fun just to see that spread a little bit because I think everybody could do a little more, like a little touch more on their crew and their kit and things like that. So,
Yeah,
we're inspired by you. You lead the way on that.
awesome.
Okay. So, let's just talk a little bit of Badwater because you got to talk about Western States, then you did Badwater. I mean, obviously going into Badwater and the cool thing is that you had done Badwater several times before. So, I guess what I wanted to maybe start with is how like, rolling off of Western and into Badwater, what were some of the differences that you could tell just having run it in the past?
Um, well, this year, this year the issues that I had were not the issues that I had anticipated. So that's always fun. I swear it's like my friend that owns a mountaineering shop in Lone Pine, says it a great way. There some locks, they're harder to pick than others. Badwater is definitely that lock for me where it's like, I can finish, but, like, I still wanna go back because I have not had the race that I think that I can have just yet, and this year, obviously, I needed to be um, I guess, give myself some grace, considering that I had just ran a 100 miler in the mountains like 8 days beforehand. uh, so yeah, like I felt like my training was probably the best it's ever been, just having that time off from work and I bought a sauna, like I did a whole bunch of heat treadmill sessions, like it was very dialed in but just asking that much of my body in such a short time span is just anybody's body is gonna kinda throw some challenges their way. I had started my period, like, literally driving to the race this year, like, from Lone Pine to the Basins, so that was fun. I had to go buy tampons because like, none of the girls that were there had tampons, so that was great.
Ugh.
Um so, yeah, that I think in itself had created some added GI distress, night 1. So we in Death Valley, like, if you can't make it to a bathroom, like, you have to use a wag bag because you can't just go to the bathroom in the desert 'cause that's not allowed. So we had went through 3 wag bags night 1, so that was no fun. Usually I could make it to mile 42 at Stovepipe and use the civilized toilet, but this time we weren't that lucky. So that was first. And The first 42 though did click by pretty quick. It was different because I started in wave 2 and I normally start in wave 3, so I ran by myself the whole time, which was a little lonely. Like I usually look forward to chatting with everybody the first handful of miles, and then I get my pacer. So I was listening to music the whole time. Um, and we got to Stovepipe a little earlier because of I started an hour earlier this year as well, and everything still was moving pretty smoothly through up to Town Pass, and then it got started getting a little stiffer. Like, the thing I did notice was having to, like, stretch more and kinda loosen up because I think just, the fatigue was setting in a little earlier on this time too, just because I had just done a race, so being more mindful of that, like, I'd be down on the ground, like, stretching out, and I'm sure they'll have that in the movie, and, like, people took pictures of it, so that was kinda goofy, and then we got to Panamint, and it wasn't too hot in Panamint. Like, I've been in Panamint when it's been 126 when I crewed and paced the first year, and it was 110 or so this year, so a little cooler than
Okay.
yeah, cooler than normal. But then Father Crawley got hotter for some reason, so it was like, I think back up to 115 or 16 going up that climb, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
one of the other major issues I encountered doing the 2 back to back was a lot of, I hadn't caught up, I don't think, fully on sleep because I had lost a whole night of sleep at state, so I was just still kinda recuperating from that, so very early on, I started getting that whole, like, "I'm so tired, I can't even walk straight,"
Mhm.
sort of feeling, so I had to take, like I think I took a nap halfway up Father Crawley for about a half hour, 40 minutes just because I was shutting down, like, couldn't move efficiently, so we had to take a little dirt nap uh, pretty early on, so at that
So
and then
in
go
previous years, did you have to take a nap at all?
when I would get to the top, the first year, I think I crashed pretty bad and had to take a nap, but that was, I think, because I burned the candle too thin, like, the first 30 miles, we were running, like, 7:30 pace and 100 plus
Oh,
degrees.
girl.
Yeah, so year 1, there was a whole series of, dumpster fires and whatever, so that yeah, that was, like, puking 50, 60 miles and holding
Oh,
on for dear
yeah.
life, so a lot of things went wrong year 1, but the sleep thing, I had to take, like, 3 different 40 to an hour naps this year just because I was, like, hallucinating, like, I would just not even see things straight or see, like, bushes and think they were, like, I knew they were bushes, but I would be like, "Oh, that doesn't look like a bush, I need to take a nap," and, just I just go to the
That's
car.
weird. I know so I crewed and paced a friend through Cocodona this year,
Mhm,
and I was getting there because I had just done enough pacing and through the nights and not slept, and I kept seeing, like, garbage. It was rocks, but to me,
mhm.
it looked like paper or like somebody had dropped a bunch of bags, and I was like, "Oh, we should pick these up." Like, some runner is just, like, trash like, and it just and the pain is, like, that this is weird, and that's what kind of is like, "I need to take a nap." Like, you just cannot
Yeah.
continue feeling so weird.
Yeah, basically. Like, when I start feeling like I'm, like, drunk I call it, like, drunk walking, like, obviously, I'm not drunk, but, like, you're, like, staggering and you're like, "Okay, time for a nap." But we had a few of those, and then I've had this before in road races, but the pain that started setting in, it was probably at about 80, 90 that it started to get worse, and then it just progressively got worse the whole rest of the race where the connection point between my right foot and ankle had this like burning sensation that had kind of like worked its way up into my shin. Like it was like started at the connection point, and I've had that before like many times, and it kind of just like levels out. Like it will get to a certain pain level, maybe like a 5 out of 10, and like stay there and doesn't get any worse. But this time it like was radiating up and getting worse. So I'm like, oh crap. And I saw this Karen lady that I met at Western States training camp because she was crewing another runner and she had ankle issues. I remembered from she couldn't do
Right.
Cocodona because her ankle was acting up, and she was showing us like all of her stuff for that at States camp. And I'm like, Karen, like, do you have KT tape? Like, do you have an ankle brace? Like anything? Like, because I was worried I wasn't going to be able to finish. And she like pulls out this ankle brace and is like, you can use this, but I need it back. And I'm like, oh, you're gonna save me. So I like sat in her van, like put the ankle brace on and like wore it the whole rest of the race. And I think we taped some ice on at one point too. And I was taking
Mm.
ibuprofen, like whatever I could do to try to make it kind of not be an issue, but it just kind of was bad the whole rest of the way. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and you were so far in that it was like, "Man, you're getting so close," but it's like, you're still so far because every mile still counts, and it's still a mile even though you're closer to
The
the
rest of the
finish,
body
so
was okay. Like, as many other problems as we had, like, puking was not the main culprit this year, which it has been in the past, so we were able to, like, keep food down. Like, I was drinking enough, is just pain. I don't know, and that's probably me being stubborn and stupid doing 2 things in 8 days. I don't it's like my body being like, "Don't do this again." So,
yeah,
um,
learn your lesson, but I think, like you said, you have had that pain, and it probably was just, like, hadn't had time to really heal up since Western, and so it sounds like a
yeah.
double kind of issue.
And Badwater, another thing that I think played a factor in this, and I might do like specific strength training or something to try to prevent this beforehand next time, is the road has a camber. Like the whole road for, I don't even know, like 80, 90 miles, it's like slanted to the left because you're like running on the left side of the line, right? And
Mhm.
I mean, that's got to be throwing something off too, like, so yeah.
Yeah. I
But,
didn't think about that. I actually think about that a lot when I'm just running in general because I have just had a lot of hip issues,
mhm,
and that is just like I've gone into a doctor and they're like, "Oh, your left foot is this much longer than your right," and they'll kinda straight work on straightening that out, and I'm sure
mhm.
so a lot of times, like, even just when I'm training, I'll run on the wrong side of the road, or I like to if I can and I'm on a track, go the opposite direction sometimes because everything is, like, left leaning and you wind up with having issues, so I think you're probably right about just being stuck over on the left shoulder the whole time and
Yeah.
for sure get some issues. Well, so how was so the it you end climbing up to Whitney Portal, how did that feel worse on your foot?
Uh,
Or, I mean, was it
it
all just a ball
all
of pain by that point?
it all was not great because it was like I wanted to get it over with. Like I'm like, we are on the last half marathon. Like, let's go. And then we tried to run a little bit, and I'm like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. And I'm like, we're just gonna walk. We're just gonna walk. So, I mean, I don't think up, down, flat, like, by the end of it, it's like every step forward did not feel great. So, um, yeah. I mean, I drug everybody out there the whole week. I'm like, "We're not giving up on this, like, we're getting it done." So, I don't know. And then Chris, like, at the finish, the race director, it's like, I really respect when somebody like you who like finishes and you could just, chalk it up to having a bad race and like pull the plug, but instead you're like, no, I'm gonna gut it out. I mean, I don't know. I've had some really good races and I've had some really bad races, and I think they're all necessary as like, a form of growth to, overcome things at some point. So
Yeah, and just kind of, learn some lessons. I think this one, you got to see that you could be in that kind of pain, and you kind of trusted your yourself and your crew in that, like, this isn't gonna be a permanent problem, and then that's how it turned out. Like, I think sometimes you almost kind of seems like people can kind of know, like, this is gonna be a permanent issue and they will pull out, but you kind of pressed on that a little bit and hopefully learned a little bit more about your body and just what you can run through and what's permanent and what's not permanent and be able to make, decisions in the future based off what you learned, and I mean, this movie is gonna be so awesome. Just watching you get through that kind of situation is gonna be incredible, so I'm so excited.
It will be cool. I mean, I, like, barely ever cry at races. Like, I think I almost cried at the start line of Western States just because it was so ridiculous. It's been, like, 7 years and it was finally happening, but, like, I'm not a crier, and it was crazy 'cause I'm pretty sure, like, somebody from Mountain Coast had cried, like, I think one of the movie guys, somebody said one of them was crying, and then my dad was, like, hysterically crying at the finish line, so then I get done, and it's like when a kid falls or something and, like, nobody sees it, but then everybody looks and then they're like, "Wow," they start crying, and I'm, like, sitting there at the finish just, like, in my thoughts, and I'm like, "Okay, that was really hard, like, that took a lot," and then, like, everybody's like, the cameras, and I'm like, "Oh my god, am I gonna cry?" Like, so it was just it was a lot. It was, like, everything from both of them, like, all at once, and it's just it's cool. I'm happy I'm able to do those things and have the experience, so
Super cool, super cool. I'm a crier, so I'm gonna be like I always watch these movies, like, while I'm, like, hiking on the treadmill or something. I'm gonna be I'm gonna need an extra towel at the gym to wipe my tears when I'm watching it, so that will be super fun. Okay, let's see here. Before we finish, any last well, one, y you gotta do Badwater next year. Like, it's gonna come together. I love the quote that your friend okay, so this is your friend that owns the mountaineering shop in Lone Pine?
yeah, you said some locks are harder to pick than others, and I was like,
Okay, who is this? I'm
Blair is his name, and he owns Big Willie's, but I've known Blair for a long time, and I mean, I guess the race is really special to me. Like, some ultra runners would be like, winning Western States would be the pinnacle of ultra running, and I don't disagree. Like, you win Western States, that's pretty freaking special too, right? Like, that's amazing. But, like, I really wanna win Badwater. Like, that's my you know I love the race. I'll keep coming back whether it happens or not, but, like, it would just be that much sweeter if it did, and I feel like a connection to it in the area, and I don't know. It's just important to me. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think that you've got a good race at Badwater coming up. You've done all the other ones, if you just you're like, "I've done the throw up one, I've done the broken foot one," and, I mean, just to and sometimes it's, obviously winning feels great, but sometimes it's just knowing that you had your race, like, everything went
yeah.
well and felt good and you felt good, then it's like, "Okay," like, that the rest just depends on who else showed up, like, and, the chips fall where they fall. But if you can be like, "Yep, that was it. That was my race. That was my best," and that feels really good too. So, you've got that coming. You've put in your time, and I love just, like, kind of all the training that you learned this year, like, you got your sauna, like, you kinda just stepped it up a notch as well and felt really good about it, so that's all in the tank, and I really think like, as, we accumulate these races and time, it's in there, it's all in there, just
Mhm.
waiting for the right date, and it will come out. So, next year.
I hope,
And
but
for
we'll
you, that's
see.
next year.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be excited to keep watching for sure.
Oh, did you wanna
Okay.
see my buckles?
Oh, yes, yes, do you have them handy?
Yeah, hold on.
Alright. This is show and tell time.
Oh, here they are. I still have to do a post. I actually did a draft and I was gonna post it after this, but I've been so busy with other stuff. So this is oh shoot. This is the
Ooh,
Western. Oh gosh. It's so weird because it's like what I think I need to do. It's like the
I know, I'm
opposite.
terrible with the camera, I'm like, always the wrong way.
So this
Okay,
is
there you go, that
the
was
Western one. It's super pretty.
gorgeous. Yeah,
And
you gotta wear that to work.
I kind of work from home. I go to the office sometimes, but and then this is the bath water.
Ah, okay, yeah, it's got the skeleton guy with the hat.
And then he always puts this on the back too, and it says to those most worthy, which is kind of cool.
And it's got the little mountain thing.
Like Latin or something, I think, is what the
Okay.
back, and that's the Badwater symbol that he has. But
Yeah.
I have a couple tattoos, not like that say Badwater, but that are kind of remind me of the area and the race too. So I'm pretty diehard on that one.
I love it. Such a cool race. And, yeah, I would love to do this. I'm a hot runner girl. Being down here in Houston, I can handle some heat. I do this race in August. It starts at high noon, and it's all about being hot and sweaty down here, and I love it. So I'm like, I
What
could
race?
handle some desert heat too. What was that?
What race is it?
It's called Habanero,
Oh, okay.
and yeah,
We had a
yeah,
girl from
so I
Vegas do it, I think. Sue Robertson did it a couple years back.
okay, and Megan oh, no, was it Meg is I think Meg Ecker
Did
am I
she run
saying her
it?
name right? I wanna say she has the course record on it.
I I don't know. I've been friends with Megan since 2023, so I don't remember every race that she's ran, but it's possible.
Yeah, because
I
I
mean,
think,
she's
she's
fast.
a Texas girl.
Yeah, she's from
Yeah, and
Texas
she
originally, and now she's in Santa Fe. So,
yeah, so a lot of she's done a lot of the Texas races, and I mostly stick to home and run Texas stuff, so I see her name pop up a lot, and she's, like, our claim to fame. We're like, "That's our girl
that's cool.
from Texas." Yeah, so anyway, okay, let's go ahead and wrap up. Thanks so much for sharing everything that you did just about your day and the things you had to deal with and getting us excited about a new movie coming out soon. And I asked you if you could share an inspirational quote at the end, but before you do, I hope you have one ready. I love your Instagram and you're always sharing inspirational posts. So I'm like, you're perfect for this because you always have some good inspiration on there. And one, so I'm going to make you do two because you're good at this. So one that you posted last week, so this is my phone lighting my face up here. I just kind of want to hear your spin on it, and then you can share the one that you prepared. But one that you shared last week was being happy is a self responsibility. Another human cannot fulfill that for you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's because a lot of people wanna blame other people, for why they feel a certain way, and it's kinda like, well, I mean, with everything in life, right? Like, if if you're not happy, ultimately, whose job is it to make sure that you're happy and well taken care of and, you know, emotionally, physically, um, I guess all the ways, mentally. Um I just yeah, I think just being your own advocate for that, and if it's not working for you, change it and make it better.
And do you feel like you've learned how to do that for yourself or just had like experience where you're like, yeah, I'm not happy. And like, I guess, yeah, like learn that lesson. Like, hey, I'm not happy. What do I need to do to get myself there? Have you had some
Yeah,
experience with that?
I mean, I've had past jobs and stuff. I mean, I worked for Tesla for like 7 years, and I will just say, like, for example, like, if I would have stayed with that company, I feel like it probably would have taken years off of my life. They change my work schedule all the time. I feel like just how, you know, there was a lot of things I didn't agree with, and I put up with it for a really long time, and it was kinda like, "Okay, whose fault is this?" Like, nobody's forcing you to be here, like, you can't just complain to everyone else because 'cause you're not happy with what's going on, and just kinda advocating for that and leaving and, finding something else and working somewhere where you feel like you deserve to be or with people, or even in races, right? Like you can have a bad mindset and you could let that affect the crew and affect the volunteers or whoever, or you can have a good attitude and people are gonna wanna, help uplift the other runners if you're pacer or your crew. And yeah, I mean, just if you want good, you have to put out good. And um, I don't know. I just, yeah, like be who you want everyone else to be. Sorry.
Mhm. Yeah, I like how you apply that to racing as well because, I mean, you just had to you like, Western was some tricky situations for you, like, the whole lights thing, oh gosh, I would've like, that's my nightmare is to not have lights out and ready and wind up, like, using your phone, but to also just kind of, like, assume at the end of the day, like, take care of yourself on that, and, like, figure out how you can make things better for yourself when everything seems to kind of not be going how you'd want it to be going.
Well, right. And like I definitely didn't have the day I wanted to have. Like I rode in top 20 like the first 100K, and I trained my butt off thinking I was going to be like sub 20 hours, and then when everything started like not going that direction, it's like, well, how do you make the best with what you have and have a good time with it, Like how do you make the most of the situation? So,
Yeah. Totally, and, you just I know it hurts to not have the days that you want and to feel good. I know it hurts just to, like, have a bad race, like, not only does it show up, in print not looking very beautiful, but it doesn't like, it's not fun while you're doing it or afterward when you're kinda bummed out about it, but I think that you just really kinda shone through, and you still did something just super incredible putting these races together and finishing them when you could have not. So, I think you wound up with something really good, even though maybe it's not what you wanted it to look like.
what did Bronco Billy
So, okay,
say in the chase? He's like, sometimes it's not what we want, it's what we need. I like cry.
oh,
Or like, do you remember that part or did you see it?
yes, and
Oh,
I think he kinda starts to tear up.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, that one
Yeah,
kind
and
of
I
hit
was tearing
home.
up with him, of course. I was
Yeah.
like, "I know." So yeah, okay, well, yeah, maybe one of those, but I think that's true. Like, even I'm dealing with a stupid fractured pelvis, and I'm like, "This swimming is gonna come in handy for something, I don't know what."
It'll give you a cross train I mean, honestly, I'm telling you, like, we've all been there. Like, I had a broken foot at one point, like, for real broken foot, and I couldn't run for, like, 3 months, and, you know, I think, like, Pete Kostelnick, another great example, like, he broke his pelvis when he had that car accident going to help somebody at Leadville, and he was in a wheelchair, and, like, I mean, he just got 3rd place at Badwater, like, you're gonna come out on the other side and you're gonna be so much stronger, and you're gonna have this like cross training thing. Like I'm a terrible swimmer. I don't even like you'd make fun of me if you saw me swimming, but you know, you will stay sane when somebody like me has to like hop on the bike and like I don't know. I mean,
You swim with me. If I'm in Vegas, we'll go find a pool and swim. Because now I'm like, I think I'm getting good at this. Like, I've always swam, but, like, it's always kinda been, like, the worst part of any cross training, but I'm like, "I think I'm getting in this flow," but I still don't like it. But I haven't been able to bike either, so it's kind of
oh,
been my only option.
is that hurt it too?
Anyway, yeah, it's like
Ugh,
anything that I have to use my glutes,
yeah.
I'm like, "Who knew?" And, like, everything runs through your butt, so whatever. Okay, enough about me. On to your quote. Do you have one ready?
Um, so I did, and I feel like I'm gonna slightly mess it up, but like I had taken a picture of it because I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna have to remember what this is. Um, it was something along the lines of like you have to believe in yourself, or here, let me see if I can do it. Well, I don't want to screw up the session. It's like you have to believe in yourself so much that some people might think you're delusional, or and it was kind of similar to the Ozzy Osbourne quote that was coming out yesterday, because he just passed, and it was like, "Believe in yourself so much that people think you're crazy." Like, um, and I had kind of said something to Sally about it too, like before the race, like if you don't bet on yourself, like who else will, like, and you just have to continue to do it. I mean, you can't give up. Like, so I don't have the exact quote, but it was something along those
No, that's
lines.
good, and if you wanna, like, send me who said it or whatever, we can do that later, but
Okay.
I think that can be so hard because none of us want to be crazy. Like, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, I want to feel like I'm sane, but we're doing
Right.
some crazy stuff. It is, and to some people, I mean, I was talking to my doctor and I had gone out I had been experiencing my injury, and then I'd given it a couple weeks to see if it was gonna get better, and it was getting better, but then I went out and ran, like, 8 miles, and it just kinda went back to
Oh
being
no.
bad again, and he was like, "Okay, but you running 8 miles, that's like running a marathon, like, might as well run 100," you know? And so sometimes it is hard to relate to people who aren't in the sport because it does sound a little crazy. Um, and I guess I don't know, how do you kind of make peace with that, Sierra?
Well, I don't know if I mean, like, yeah, like the things that we do are crazy to the common person, right? Like, okay, running 100 miles, that's crazy. Like, what's the joke? I don't even like to drive that far or whatever. But like, what I mean by that is like believing in yourself, like, oh, I like before Western States, I was like, do I think I could go top 10 at state? And I was like, maybe. But like, I also think there's like 25 other women that were at the race that could go top 10 at states, like those kind of things where it's like setting your standards high within the sport. Yeah. Like somebody already thinks I'm crazy regardless, but even like, somebody in my running community might be like, top 10 at Western States, like, what? Like, you're insane. But, like setting the standards high, or else it's never going to happen, right? Like, if you don't set your sights to something bigger, like, you're just going to kind of stay the same, right? I mean, I, but my first big thing I won a 100 miler at across the years. I think it was 2022. That was my first like 100-mile win. And then going into 2023, I'm like, I think I could win jackpot. And like, that was the USATF championship. And I did. Like, but if I never like, you know, had that goal or whatever, it could be like running a fast marathon. Like it doesn't really matter what the goal is. But um, yeah, just something, I don't know, shoot for the stars.
Well, I don't think you're crazy. I don't think you're crazy to say that you're gonna come out and win these big races because and I mean, and I think, kind of like you're saying, believing in yourself, it's slowly like you sneakily start acting like that. Like you buy the sauna, you do the extra, like you just kind of start acting like the person that you're wanting to be or like the person who would be able to win that race. And so it's, kind of this mental jump you have to take and then everything can kind of fall into place. So I love that. And you know what? I like that you've made peace with just, like, the general public thinking this is crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm still kinda working on that. I'm like, "I don't know if I can tell people what I'm doing."
yeah, what did my dad say the other day? Like, I'm not even gonna like talk to him about Wyoming Range 100 because I started watching the videos today and I'm like, oh, he's gonna freak out. Like, it's in grizzly country. Like, we gotta go on these sketchy mountains and stuff. And I'm like, um, but what did he say? He's like, the things you do are so dangerous. Anybody over the age of their late 30s shouldn't do it, or something along those lines. And I was like, what? Like that's like I don't understand why there's the age limit, but because I think I sent him how the lady had died at Hard Rock, like the lady from Michigan, and I was just like, I couldn't believe that had happened because I'm from Michigan originally, and then he just starts sputtering on how dangerous the sport is and this and that, and I'm like, "Oh boy." So, yeah. I didn't
Your poor dad.
you know,
Oh, come on.
like, just don't come to Badwater. Like, if you would have came to, like, one of these loop courses or something, you'd be like, "Oh, Sierra looks great the whole time, and I'm not stressed out or upset." Like, so,
Oh.
uh,
Yeah, I'm sure that's hard for him to see you if you're hurting. Yeah, and the loops course is definitely you can, like, it seems a lot more safe maybe. But, if you've got it in your blood and this is what you're gonna do, like, it's worse to not do it. Trust us. Like, us not getting to do these crazy races is just as bad as what you're thinking. So, anyway, Sierra, thanks so much for coming on. It was super fun to hear your story, and I know you have a lot of races coming up, so we'll keep following. But thanks again. It was just a great time getting to chat with you.
yeah.